give my first award to the Chinese American Planning Council in New York City. And they were selected because they proposed to increase the involvement and support of family members of CSEP participants and of their older relatives' participation in not only CSEP activities, but also their community service assignments, and also giving them a little bit more skill in terms of computer literacy and English as a second language. So David Chen is the executive director. David, thank you for doing such great work, and the check is in the mail.
Thank you. I hope you will take a good time.
Yeah, David, want to say a few words?
It is indeed our honor and we're proud to be getting this award. We started in 1965, around the same time as anti-poverty as SSAI started too. But we're on the local level. You guys are working on the national level. It's very appropriate to see how the national level and the local level really combine forces and do this thing and leverage in bigger ways. We've been doing it for 40 years. We call it community involvement, community empowerment, but now I guess a new term after a while you call it civic engagement. It's the same thing. We same thing believe that changes can come through from the grassroots. You fight poverty, you start with a very basic level, and you see it in a comprehensive way. You don't see it in a fragmented way because the funding tend to pull you a different way. You see the basic side of a family unit, the age, the younger, and then you seek the support that they need to empower them. It calls like you give them a fish, it's only a meal, right? But if you teach them how to fish, it's a lifetime. So in some way, we are engaged in that. But now, of course, we're very pleased we got this check, not yet, but the check will allow us to leverage what we have been good at for the last 30 years in the community level. So in that sense, that will always leverage back through the survey, through the study evaluation, that hopefully will become another endorsement to the concept that to really make effective changes, it has to come from combination partnership between the policy level and folks like us in the neighborhood trying to make a change. Thank you.
Our second organization that we'd like to honor is the Lawrence County Community Action Partnership in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, and they are fostering intergenerational understanding by bringing together CSEP participants with youth participants in the local Workforce Investment Act program. These are economically disadvantaged young people in a local training program in which the young people and the older people are learning computer skills together and producing a newsletter for their community. And we have with us today Tom, and I've forgotten your last name.
Scott.
Tom Scott, who's the executive director for the Community Action Partnership.
Thank you, thank
Let me get you the right one.
you. Yeah. Thank you. Hopefully my check's in the mail too. Yes, as David said, our agency too is what we consider a community action agency, which participates and runs and operates programs at the local community level. We come from a very rural county. Approximately 24% of all our residents are senior citizens. We see them as a very valuable asset to our community. They have a lot to offer. They've been instrumental in operating and giving back, in essence, to the youth of our community. We also run the Head Start program, and it's interesting that we actually have the seniors coming into the Head Start centers, reading to the young kids and participating. We actually had them participate with some of the youth the other day, go on a reality tour, which is in essence somebody who is arrested through drugs or issues, actually taken in the jail, spends a whole day going through the court system and the processes, and it was very interesting to see how the seniors sort of coach the kids as life learning lessons as to how valuable it is to stay out of trouble and participate. So, Tony, we want to thank you very, very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Tom.
Our third organization that we're giving this award to is Meriton in Memphis, Tennessee, for developing and implementing a systemic approach for CSIP to help meet the workforce needs of the nonprofit sector in the Memphis regional economy. And with us today is Phyllis, I'm blanking out, Phyllis Jones, who is the Senior Vice President for the organization. Thank you.
Well, I want everyone to know that I have already received my check. If low-income older workers are to assume a viable economic role, then they need to offer in-demand skills to area employers. I want to thank Senior Service America for selecting Meriton for one of the Innovation Award recipients. As Tony mentioned, Meriton is located in Memphis, Tennessee, and we have been in business for more than 40 years, and our main mission is providing services that benefit humanity and improves the community. And how we do this, we maximize each individual's potential throughout life's stages, and not only just the potential, the optimal potential. We provide services through the CSEP program for 34 counties in Tennessee. We have more than 511 individuals that we are responsible for. Through this grant, Meriton will be able to better assess employers' needs and prepare job seekers over the age of 55 with key foundational job-ready skills, which is going to be very, very important for this emerging workforce. Thank you, Senior Service America. We're most grateful to you for making this grant available in our community. Thank you, Tony.
The fourth organization that we gave an award to is Work Training Programs in Santa Barbara, California. And what they're doing is enhancing the civic literacy of Latino and other CSEP participants through an Older Workers Leadership Development Initiative. And unfortunately, weren't able to join us today. I was able to visit attend the first session of that program in Santa Maria, California. And all I can say is that just as I'm sure the others will report, the level of enthusiasm of the seniors as the programs have been launched have really exceeded expectations. And so we're looking forward to seeing what happens. This is a grant that runs through the end of 2008, and certainly we'll be providing additional reports summarizing the lessons that we hope to learn by this experience, not only for CSEP operators throughout the country, but also for, again, those organizations that are asking these larger questions about how do we engage older people in the building of a stronger community. So with that, I think we're ready to take questions.
Actually,
What do you- Paul?
I want to start with the first question, which is, I would like each of the three of you to come back to the microphone, if you can, please. And, we've heard a little bit about the abstract structure of your programs. Give us a human story. If you can each give us a human story of an individual, a moment that you've had in interacting with an individual or seeing some of your staff whose life has been changed or altered or affected by this situation, by this program.
Is this mic on?
Yeah, give that sounds like it. Just pull it close.
When we started, it's really hard because when you talk about senior 55 and older, a lot of people don't want them. Even our own agency staff, what are you doing? In a sense, you focus on the more vibrant, less of whatever. And to the point that over time we find out that there's diamond in the rough. There are so many good, talented people with experience, with perspective that you can't find in younger workers. But yet, as you go through the process, you find out. As a matter of fact, one of the remarkable case I had was we ran into a senior aide who was placed at our senior center to just as a receptionist. And through working and find out that he was once the chief editor of the Xinhua Daily News in Canton, Guangzhou.
Wow.
Because of migration, because of Cultural Revolution, he came here with no, who to call and where to knock the doors and so forth. He started very basic, had no contact whatsoever. And he was a senior aide because he can translate. He can write Chinese very well. Not translate, write very well. His English was not good. So in essence, we find out through that process and were able to actually hire him after the placement period. He was wonderful. But then it's one of those things that immigrants, you never know what the backgrounds are. They came, they don't speak English. Diamond in the rough. Until you really, through a process, you identify them, they can so engage in so many productive ways because they brought along with a lot of stuff that you are not aware of. Anyway, that was one of, there are many of them that we ran into.